Hi, gorgeous beings of light. Welcome to lesson 45. So we'll begin our day as we always do by gently closing our eyes down or softening our gaze. Allowing yourself to settle into this day, to settle into your body. Let's take a time to scan the body this morning and just notice how you're feeling physically. This is an observation without any judgment. Notice how you're feeling emotionally. Is anything rattling around there? Again, just an observation. And how you're feeling mentally. Noticing how your mind is this morning. And then taking a moment or two with your breaths. Noticing the comings and the goings of your breaths. Feeling yourself soften with each exhale. Resting into the love that you are. We begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask love to lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this new day. We welcome joy, fun, and abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth that we are one, we are love, and that we are free. We release these words, and so we let it be. And here we are on lesson 45. God is the mind with which I think. Love is the mind with which I think. Divine is the mind with which I think. Today's idea holds the key to what your real thoughts are. They are nothing that you think, just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. There is no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Nothing that you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you. So these are big learnings and, big undoings. Remember, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Like, wow. And, most of those are on a loop. They're on a sort of rinse and repeat. They're not new thoughts. They're the same things going over and over and over. And really what we're being told is beneath them are your true thoughts that are one with love and one with God. Beneath that is like loving awareness. In the words of Ram Dass, I am loving awareness. And beneath what you see with these two eyes is the light of the world, like true vision, true light. And so we're letting go of this old way of seeing and this old way of thinking. And it's not that it'll stop completely, it's that we will have a knowing that it isn't real and that only love is real. So you think with the mind of God in truth. Therefore, you share your thoughts with God as God shares thoughts with you. They are the same thoughts because they are thought by the same mind. To share is to make alike or to make one. Nor do the thoughts you think with the mind of God leave your mind, because thoughts do not leave their source. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind of God or the mind of love, as you are. You are in your mind as well, where God is. As you are part of God's mind, so are your thoughts part of God's mind. So there's no separation. We never leave our source. Where then are your real thoughts? Today we'll attempt to reach them. We will have to look for them in your mind, because that is where they are. They must still be there, because they cannot have left their source. What is a thought by the mind of God? What is thought by the mind of God is eternal, being part of creation. Our 3 5-minute practice periods for today will take the same general form that we used in applying yesterday's idea. We will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for what is real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. We will not let the thoughts of the world hold us back. We will not let the beliefs of the world tell us what God would have us do is impossible. Instead, we will try to recognize that only what God would have us do is possible. So remember that, the ego mind has limits, whereas the mind of God is limitless. So let's see this as limitless. With God, all things are possible. We will also try to understand that only what God would have us do is what we want to do in truth. And we will also try to remember that we cannot fail in doing what God would have us do. There is every reason to feel confident that we will succeed today. It is the will of God, and you are one with God. This is the will of your higher mind, your higher self, your higher consciousness. Begin the exercises for today by repeating the idea to yourself, closing your eyes as you do so. Then spend a fairly short period in thinking a few relative thoughts of your own, keeping the idea in your mind. After you have added some 4 or 5 thoughts of your own to the idea, repeat it again and tell yourself gently, my real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. Then try to go past all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in your mind and reach to the eternal. What I always find useful is to ask, who is the one that is noticing? So who is noticing? Who or what is noticing all the thoughts that are passing by? And then to rest into the awareness, to the one that is noticing, or the part of you that is noticing, because that is your higher mind. That is your God mind. So we begin to rest in awareness. And I always come back to Ram Dass, I am loving awareness. Under all the senseless thoughts and mad ideas with which you have cluttered up your mind are the thoughts that you thought with God in the beginning. They are there in your mind now, completely unchanged. I take such comfort from that. It's just lovely to know that there is this constancy and consistency and this beautiful, unchanged love. They will always be in your mind exactly as they always were. Everything you've taught since then will change, but the foundation on which it rests is wholly changeless. It is this foundation towards which the exercises for today are directed. Here is your mind joined with the mind of God. Here are your thoughts one with God's. For this kind of practice, only one thing is necessary: Approach it as you would an altar dedicated in heaven to God the Creator and to God the child. So we're going to approach this with like such reverence, you know, and a beautiful, like an honesty and an openness and a willingness. Yet even with for such is the place that you are trying to reach. So you're trying to reach this holy place. You will probably be unable as yet to realize how high you are trying to go. Yet, even with the little understanding you have already gained, you should be able to remind yourself that this is no idle game, but an exercise in holiness and an attempt to reach the realm of heaven. And you know, the realm of heaven is available to us here on earth when we recognize who we really are. In the shorter exercises for today, try to remember how important it is to you to understand the holiness of the mind that thinks with God. Take a minute or two as you repeat the idea throughout the day to appreciate your mind's holiness, you know, to appreciate how beautiful your mind is. Stand aside, however briefly, from all thoughts that are unworthy of God, whose host you are. And thank God, thank love for the thoughts love is thinking with you. It's so beautiful. So we're going to be in gratitude as well. Okay, so we begin with repeating, love is the mind with which I think, or God is the mind with which I think. We're going to repeat that idea, and then we're going to close our eyes and we're going to think of a few relevant thoughts of our own, keeping the idea in mind. So let's do that first. We're going to do 4 or 5 thoughts that relate to this idea that God is the mind with which I think. And then we're going to repeat it once more. So God is the mind with which I think. And then we say, my real thoughts are in my mind and I would like to find them. We're going to go past all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in our mind to reach the eternal. So you're allowing yourself to drop down, drop in. And remember, if your mind wanders, just gently come back to the exercise. And just allowing yourself to slip into a place of gratitude for these lessons, for this gentle undoing of the old, for the awakening to new yet ancient ideas, beginning to realize that there is no separation and that God or love is the mind with which you think. And so from my heart to yours, I wish you a beautiful day practicing this lesson. So again, 3 times. Come back to this in the afternoon and again this evening. Just have it in your awareness as you move through the day.